But when I had the opportunity to be here with the investor tribe, to me, it was worth it. I feel like I'm cheating on myself by not making my lead gen calls now. But look, for you guys, it didn't matter. Like I quit real estate just to hang out with you all, man.
Well, we'll give you, you'll get applaud. People recognize you from this, and they're going to recognize you for being out in the community. And I know you work with athletes, you work with celebrities. I mean, who do you enjoy working with, or what types of people are you targeting when you're doing your lead gen? Who's your ideal?
People that love mobile. So to those questions those neighborhoods, from starting it like learning to get lost in the South End and the West End to understand where Anchorage is and St. Matthews and now like Eastwood and the Far East. I've just been around so long and have just been in the crux of nasty, grimy deals to the elegance of selling NFL players homes out in the East End, selling properties out in eastern part of the state in Canton, Kentucky, like selling multi-million-dollar farms and being a part of that. So I've got to just learn by doing, right? Learn by taking that shot. And a lot of it was just by lack of education. Someone saying, hey, go chase this investor down. So I didn't mind going down the West End, but getting just to be in part with the people of the community, you just get to learn, right?
And a lot of that comes natural for you. I noticed that your hands are in a lot of different things, and it's super cool to be able to talk to you about so much. Like every time we would chat, I'll see you in the office, or we'll be out in the street, and you're either working on a deal or you're working on something different, and that's super cool. But before real estate, life looked a little different. Kind of tell us a little about that.
Man, it did. So I'm involved in the Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment.
Okay.
So that deal I talked about that fell apart, that was going to quote unquote make my career, that launch, and that fell apart. I almost quit real estate, man. I was going to go back to coaching football. Okay. I thought, man, I just failed. Like it just crushed me. It was embarrassing, shame, all the things.
And you played at UofL, right?
Yeah, I was a walk-up for John L. Smith in 2001 and 2.
Sweet.
And that's what I started drawing from. I said, well, how am I going to reset myself? So I have some friends, Jordan Stewart and Jason Ross. They're Keller Williams respectively out of DC and Florida. But they started a community called Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment. And I thought, man, if I'm going to get back into football, let me keep real estate and I'm going to dive into sports entertainment. So about 3 years ago, introduced to that. So when you say I'm involved with it, I am involved. So I talk to more agents around the country than I do sometimes investors or potential buyers or sellers. We can get into that down the road, but what I did was draw from what I did before real estate. So to your question, Anthony, was I used to coach football. So when I got in the Marine Corps, lived above a bar called the Grand Ole. Lived upstairs, worked downstairs. I walked on the football team, did all the things, but I'd be straight up honest. I partied my way right the hell out of it. I was doing the Naval Reserves, but yeah, I had too much going on at one time.
You're not the only one who partied out. Okay.
So I ended up coaching. I went to Christian Academy in Louisville. I spent 2 years there. I got fired my second year, halfway through the season. They wanted me to sign a no alcohol waiver policy, so I ain't doing it. I was bartending. So I'm still bartending, saving up money for wedding ring. So I said, I'm not going to sign it. They said, well, why not? Just sign it and go on. I said, because I have integrity. I said, I'm not going to sign a little paper saying I'm not going to drink alcohol, be around it when I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to try and just get around it. So I said, I'd rather down this hill. So the blessing in disguise was I got a call the next day that said, hey, do you want to come over and do some video? So I took a free job, meaning that for 2 years, I volunteered for Bobby Petrino. That worked 3 years with Craig Thorpe and then a year with Charlie Strong. So I worked 2 years free, getting up at 4 a.m, spending hours upon hours in mat drills and videotaping practices, breaking down film.
Oh, you're an analyst.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Gotcha.
So be able to look at offense, defense, special teams, same thing in real estate, looking at the play. So you're talking about the due diligence. You got to do your due diligence, really perform on a spreadsheet. You're not going to buy anything without knowing the numbers, right?
And a backup plan, exit strategy, and a backup plan to be typically.
Just like football. So I was coaching football, taking some jobs, doing a little bit of hustling here and there, and then flipped a few houses, got my license, the circumvent commissions, then the phone started ringing. And so here we are today.